And that day, I actually started stressing myself out that day. I didn't work very well that day. I didn't talk to anybody that day. We are back again, and I'm feeling the cold, feeling the cold. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. One thing that you're gonna love and you're gonna hate about Canada, especially if you're not used to, it's the snow. So people that are not used to having snow all the time, obviously, when you see the snow for the first time, you're gonna love it. Then it happens that you're gonna have snow all the time. So I lived in Europe, and in Europe, um, in Italy, obviously, we don't have snow, especially where I lived. So if you go to the north part of Italy, where I lived, also zones like Forni di Sopra and Forni di Sotto and Cortina, you're gonna have snow all the time, almost all the time. Like the situation is almost like this, things that you already see here. But here, it's a normal thing. Wherever you live in Canada, if you don't live in Vancouver, you already know that you have to deal with snow all the time. Now, something that you might hate about the snow, it's when you know that you have to wake up in the morning and you have to clean it. It's not the fact that you have snow. Snow is beautiful. Look at it. It's very beautiful. But the problem is the job that it gives you. That's what makes you really hate it sometimes. You wake up in the morning, you have to go to work, and you cannot even wake up like, okay, 30 minutes, I'm preparing myself. No, you have to give the chance for the snow. 30 minutes for the snow, 30 minutes for yourself, an hour. And obviously, it is something that when you have to do it each and every single day of your life for like 6 months, it becomes, in Italian we say, not in Fruitland, we say, sorry. If you love snow, you still love snow, but when it gives you the work to do, that's what you're gonna hate about snow. It's like you give birth to triplets, you want to have a baby, and your woman just get pregnant to triplets, and then for the first three 2 years or 3 years, you're like, oh my God, do I have to change these diapers all the time? Yes, you have to do that. You went for it, and now God has given you a beautiful triplet. So yeah, guys, let me show you around. So this is the first time we have in the snow. Let's go. Yo, guys. So, today, when we have the snow, I feel like I have to tell you guys a Canadian story. So, I'm going to tell you guys my first experience. So, my first job, the first job that I had here when I came to Canada for the first time, job that I did. Oh, is this ice? Oh, yeah. Ooh. In my country, we don't call this ice, we call it block. Oh my god, yes, I'm gonna get mad. It's true now. We call this block. We don't call it, actually, we call it ice block. Okay. So guys, let me tell you one thing. When I came here in Canada for the first time, so before coming to Canada, I sent money to a friend. So I had a friend here, and I sent her money for her to get me an apartment or a place to sleep. So she got me a basement in a duplex, and I paid for it. So I came here and I didn't know anybody. So she was actually the reason why I came to Quebec because I was supposed to go to on Toronto in Ontario. So my father actually arranged everything for me to go to Ontario to Toronto. And since we knew the lady, she said, no, the best thing for you to do is to come here in Quebec, in Montreal. My father did not really like the idea because my father said, Quebec is French and you don't speak French. So you have to, why are you going there? I understand you speak Italian, but it's a whole different language. It's not a different language, it's very similar. So what happened is that I booked my flight, I came here, and we started searching for the job. The lady, I asked her how I could like find myself a job because um I just terminated everything with my studies, had a degree, my master's was done. So I was done with my master's and I was searching for a job. The main reason why I came to Canada is because I wanted to I I studied the system and I noticed that Canada is a place where they require people to come in to work. So I said, okay, if this is the idea, then Canada should be the best place for me actually to work. Because in Canada, I can make the experience. So my idea was, okay, come to Canada, make your experience because Canada will give you a chance to work easily to find a job. That's what I thought. Then afterwards, I'll go back to Italy or I'll go back to Europe. So that was actually my idea why I came to Canada because I noticed that they have a vast land. There's not too many people here, and actually you can find yourself a job very quickly because if there's no many people here, the competition is not going to be that everything. I think so many people think the same thing when they decide to come to Canada. It's more like the same thing. I came to Canada. The girl was working in the restoration field, and she took me to the same place. I asked her, "Is there any way How can I find a job? How do I search for a job? Like ways and means? Can I talk to any um association who helps? When most of these countries, even in Europe, we have those kind of system. If you're searching for a job, you can go to this kind of association. They'll help you with your CV. They'll help you with all these things." And the lady said, "Yeah, but you need to find yourself a job. This kind of job will help you." And I said, "Okay." And she started taking me to restaurants. She started taking me to McDonald's. Started taking me to all these kind of fast food restaurants and everything. And I said, "Okay, so is this the job that I'm supposed to do?" So we were just going to restaurants back and forth, and I luckily had one Italian. So it was the same street where the lady worked, and one Italian. It was an Italian restaurant. So the guy called me when I went in. I asked, "Are you searching for someone to work with you?" And the guy said no. So I went out of the restaurant. He sent someone to pick me, to call me. So when I entered, they said the chef wanted to speak to me. So I went there. The chef started speaking. He was speaking in Italian. I heard the accent. And I was like, "Oh, okay, you're from Rome." And he said, "Yes, I'm from Rome. Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Udine." Okay, so we started actually talking. And he said, "I'm going to offer you a job." And I said, "Well, I've not activated my documents yet because I came in with a work permit." And I said, "I've not activated my work permit yet. So I need to find myself a job. Once I have the job, I'll go and activate my work permit and I'll come back." And the guy said, "Yeah, no problem. So you can start working on the next business day." And I said, "Okay, no problem." So I started working. When I went there, the guy told me, "Your job, what you're going to do here is going to be my assistant. You help me in the kitchen." And I said, "Is this the job that I'm going to do?" And he said, "Yeah." I just wanted to confirm because you know how the restoration jobs are. Okay, I said, "Okay, this is what are you going to do?" "I'm going to do that, no problem." So I had to cut the tomatoes, cut the lettuce, cut all these vegetables, prepare Caesar salads, all these kind of salads. and when I'm done, I'll just give it to the servers, and they'll have to go in. So the orders will just come in. I'll prepare what I have to prepare, and I'll have to give it to them. And that was what I was doing. I was really enjoying the job. Then the guy came in and said, the guy who's working in the warehouse he just quit. So I'll have to add that one to your job as well. And I said, no problem. But the pay is just the same. This guy was paying me $10 an hour. And that was like something like 8 euros. 8 euros. Man, I work in Italy, and 80 euros. It was when I turned 15 years that I had the chance to work in Italy. I started working that time to pay my license because I knew I would be 18. So I was preparing myself for that, and they were paying me more than that. So every weekend, my dad would call me, and my dad would be checking out on me, like, how is the life going? Is it okay? And initially, my dad actually found that I was a little bit frustrated, with the life here. So my dad didn't want me to stay because he said, I'm not going to pay university university tuition fees and everything. And obviously, at the end of the day, you come to Canada to do what? So I told my dad, I'm working in the restoration. He actually thought that restoration, because I'm a food scientist, so restoration, maybe I'm doing auditing, I'm doing, you understand, all these things that a food scientist actually would do in the restoration field. And I said, no, I'm serving. I told, I don't like telling lies, so I explained everything to my daddy. And my dad said, okay, no problem. Most likely, it might be that they would change your position. I got my documents. I went back to the guy and I explained to the guy that I have my documents right now. And he said, okay. This guy never gave me a contract. I never had any contract. And now I'm doing the job, the chef assistant, and at the same time, I'm doing the guy who's working in the warehouse. So I was doing this. Okay. Then the guy came again and said, the dish worker just quit. So I'll have to add this to your job as well. Still $10 an hour. And I said, okay, no problem. So I was doing that. And the only thing that really gave I didn't really like about this job is that I was paying my rent. I was paying 850 all included that time. $850 every month. So I needed hours. And this guy was calling me when he needed. And most likely I'll work like in the evening and the night shifts, and that's all. And that's a few hours, like 4 hours, 5 hours, and sometimes it'll be like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I was not doing it all those kind of hours. I can't come to Canada and stay and relax because I can't even find myself another job. Because if I find myself another job, they will definitely, well, obviously, I didn't even know how to find myself a job. They will definitely take out my hours. So I discussed with the guy. The guy said, I'm going to give you more hours. Okay, no problem. Then he came again and he said, the woman who is doing the cleaning quit. So I'll have to give you the cleaning as well. I said, no problem. I started doing the cleaning. I did it for 2 days. And the third day, the guy came and said, why didn't you clean the bathroom? And I was like, you said I should clean. So I actually thought I had to clean the kitchen because I'm working in the kitchen in the basement. If I have to clean, maybe clean the restaurant, but not the bathroom. Because you're not paying me to work clean in the bathroom. Take out ladies' things. You understand? I'm not saying the name, I'm not going there. But the guy said, no, you're supposed to do that. He was so mad. Italian, okay, okay, no problem. And that day, I actually started stressing myself out that day. I didn't work very well that day. I didn't talk to anybody that day. And that was the day I was like, okay. So at the end of the weekend, my dad is going to call. And what am I going to tell my dad? Oh, you paid 5 years for me to get a master's in food science and quality control to clean the bathroom. My dad will get mad. And I was like, no, 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 this is not the job, the kind of job that I came here in Canada to do. So at that same day, I told the guy, that job, I'm not going to do it. And he said, you're not going to do the job, then you have to quit. And I said, no, okay, no problem. I took off everything and I said, this is for you. I'm not going to do this job again. I'm not interested. I have to quit. Then I quit the job. But now I had to come back for my pay, my salary. So I had to come, sorry for the plane. I live closer. So I had to come back, and the following week, that the Wednesday that I had to come back was the day that the guy actually made me feel like, oh my god. I entered, and this guy actually wanted to beat me. He was like, do you know something? You're black, but you are more Italian than all the Italians that you might even think of. And I was like, why are you talking about? Because all Italians act like you, and you are a real Italian. That was the first time an Italian could tell me Me that I always say that I'm Italian, they will say, no, you're not Italian because there's no black Italian. And now there is a Romano telling me here that you are Italian. Why? Because I quit his job that he's not even giving me hours. He's not even paying me. You understand? Man. So I said, look, take the money. I'm going. I'm not interested in any money. I'm just going. So one of the owners, so it was the owner from Abu Dhabi. The guy called me and said, "I really like you. I would have loved to see you working here. This guy told me you're a very good person. You work very well, and I don't know why you want to quit." I said, "He's not giving me hours. I have to pay my rent and I have stuff to pay." And he said, "Okay, no problem. I'm gonna give you your money." And he paid me. He gave me the money. I took the money and I left. And I had to find myself another job. This wasn't a very good experience, you know. But today, reflecting, when the snow comes out and all these things, memories and everything just reminiscent. That's how you say it in English, right? English is not my first language anymore, so correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you.